cabinet resolutions. Is that what they're called? Cabinet conclusions, rather.
Conclusions. Cabinet conclusions.
Yes, cabinet conclusions that allude to that fact, that speak the same fact that the former minister stated to the committee. The other witness would be Mr. Ibrahim Assise himself, who has a different account to your account, but firstly, who also recalls that that was a subject in cabinet.
Right.
Yes. So again, can we agree that the issue of the tractor sales was discussed in cabinet?
I will not, I cannot affirm it, except where I see maybe the cabinet meeting or conclusions. But like I said, I cannot recall where the issue of the tractor sales were a subject of a cabinet agenda. I can't recall that.
Yes, just to be clear, it was not a cabinet agenda.
Thank you. It wasn't the cabinet agenda. As I said, it could be something that was discussed on the AOB on pass,
yes,
but not something that was tabled, really. Cannot recall that.
Yes, but it was discussed. A discussion ensued in cabinet.
In cabinet, yes.
That's what the committee needs to understand. Do you recall that?
Yes, a discussion was a discussion ensued in cabinet, certainly.
Great. And of course, conclusions came out of that.
I'm sure.
We would, after the session, put the conclusions to you in case you have anything that comes into mind, any clarifications after our session, you can write back to the committee. Of course, it being a virtual session, you can appreciate the difficulty in exchanging documents.
No, no problem. No problem.
All right.
That's fair.
Okay, so both witnesses allude to that discussion in cabinet. However, we wish for you to be a unifier in the evidence, because we have two separate lines of evidence about how that cabinet conclusion was then treated, how it was then acted upon.
Right.
Yes. And before I go on to lead you with questions, do you recall how that conclusion was acted upon?
No. All I know is at one point I cannot tell definitively whether it was before that meeting in cabinet concerning the use of the taxes as Minister of Agriculture, or was it after that? The then Minister of Agriculture, late Mr. Lamin Diba, was in the office of the President, that is with His Excellency himself, briefing him on these tax issues. When I walked into that meeting, we dispelled the rumors that we are swirling concerning theft of those tractors, or the tractors that were being sold and cannibalized. They were missing.
Sorry, was it a meeting or was it a session of cabinet?
No. It's a meeting in the president's office, himself.
And
myself I was in that meeting with Mr. Lamin Diba and the president himself. Three of us. I cannot recall any other party.
Was the former minister in that meeting?
Which minister?
Minister of Justice, rather.
No. There was no time I had a direct meeting with the Minister of Justice concerning tractors. No.
Okay. And before we even go further, naturally or normally, how are cabinet conclusions treated?
Well, when there are conclusions, the cabinet office will send them to the various ministries to act on them.
So do you recall which ministry, or would you know which ministry would be concerned with the cabinet conclusion that we're discussing?
If at all is the sale of tractors, and this was a cabinet conclusion, it would have been sent to the Minister of Justice.
Okay. Back to the meeting. The quorum of the meeting was yourself, the late Mr. Lamin N. Diba, and the president.
Yes, please.
Please go on to discuss.
Like I said, in that meeting, the Minister of Agriculture actually were making a personal, a personal plea for the use of those tractors. But then this other information was that the tractors are missing, cannibalized, etc. To which I retorted, I said, no, there was a briefing by the controller of what I cannot even remember now his title.
Government vehicles.
Government vehicles, Mr. Sediba.
Yes.
Who gave me a rundown as to where every tractor was located, whether they were moving or immobile, Then he produced a spreadsheet, I think, of their exercise. And then I went back to brief His Excellency on it. Then, no, the tractors are not missing. So we accounted for all the tractors, including those ones that were also sold at the time.
Okay, so the Minister of Agriculture at the time had a query that they needed some of the tractors, and he also raised the issue of the cannibalization. What was the response from Cabinet, from the President on yourself?
No, we wanted to verify, because as Secretary General, you have to advise the President. And to do that, you have to gather information to be able to make an informed advice, not based on whims. It has to be evidence-based. So I had to, yes, I had to produce that.
Of course. So how then did you go on to do
that? Like usually, I have my notebook, my red notebook. After the briefing with Seriba, I went back to the President and gave him a briefing as to the notes that I have taken, etc. That no, the tractors are not missing, they have been accounted for, and this is the breakdown of the numbers, and then where the tractors were, and then we also made mention of the few tractors that were already sold, because we had to gather all that information for him. So that was the end of that discussion, actually. I left and went back to my office.
Okay, I wish to reconcile something. We understand that Cabinet understood the commission to be independent at the time. So what was the rationale for going down this lane of doing an investigation that is essentially an investigation that is duplicating efforts?
No investigation was made.
Okay.
No investigation was made.
All right.
In order to be able to verify what the minister was claiming, whether it is exactly the case,
yes,
I consulted with the controller of government vehicles, and he gave me a whole breakdown of the situation. And then I subsequently went back to the President to give him advice. But it has no link with the cabinet conclusions, no.
But it has a link to the work that the Jammeh Commission was doing.
Subsequently, yes. Subsequently.
How so subsequently?
That is when that fateful day that the Secretary of Cabinet came to me to give me this urgent message. So,
yes, but even before that, it was clear to Cabinet that the tractors were put in distinct locations under the authority of the Jammeh Commission.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, so it was the Jammeh Commission that identified those tractors, and the government set up the Jammeh Commission as an independent body to fulfill a mandate. So my question is why the government would go into that mandate, whether through a confirmation or an investigation. Why would the government then duplicate efforts and not go to the Jammeh Commission?
I don't think that issue did not arise at the time. The issue of duplication of efforts or investigating the Jammeh Commission. That was not the case. It's like somebody coming to the president to make a plea, which happens from time to time. Ministers will come, they will consult with the president, and they will put certain things to him. So our role as gatekeepers is to ensure whatever information is going to the president is sieved through with a fine-tooth comb, and that whatever we are going to tell him is the truth, is the facts. So this is what has happened. It has nothing to do with, at the time, the functions of the Jammeh Commission. So here, Minister of Agriculture making a passionate plea to the president. And of course, naturally, if you talk about the farmers or the farming community, anybody would tend to gravitate towards that request. So that was what has been driving this whole saga of the tractors. Not for the use of the Minister of Agriculture, but for the original intent of the usage of the tractors to go back to that. Let us give it back to the farming communities. That was what was driving the Minister of Agriculture at the time.
Yes, but what I am bringing your attention to is the fact that here are a set of tractors that you have bestowed upon an institution to do with it as per their mandate. Technical team, should I continue? Okay, thank you. You can see that the lights have visibly gone off here, so I'm just being doubly sure. Yes. So what I'm alluding to is that here is cabinet bestowing upon an institution the powers to do with it as they may, certain assets, and report back to the government.
Right.
Yes. And here is the same government looking into those same assets. Don't you think that would be a duplication?
You know, as the office of the president is the highest decision-making body. So the president is also in locus standi for the general good of the Gambia. So if somebody comes to him and makes a personal appeal, then the matter will be also looked into. But like I said, that meeting did not immediately result into office of the president dealing with the commission on the tractors. No. Then all the actions we would have taken, and if at all there was a cabinet conclusion on this, and the Minister of Justice was asked to act on it, it wouldn't have come through us again. So we have to look at the chain of events that is leading to the request for the sale of the tractors to be halted. If the Minister of Justice got the cabinet conclusion and acted on it at the time, I'm sure this thing wouldn't have arisen. Or perhaps it was a short space of time and the Minister of Agriculture made that personal plea, and that could have triggered subsequently the next chain of events. But that particular day in question was to verify the veracity of the fact that the tractors were being cannibalized, one. Two, the tractors were missing. Those were the two main issues that we discussed whilst I was with him and then with the president. So we had to come back to the president to say, look, unfortunately, what was being claimed is not the case. This is a true picture of the tractor situation.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on. I wish to know which event came first. Was it that faithful meeting or the cabinet, the AOB in cabinet?
That I cannot recall. That I cannot recall. And I'm not even sure when this matter was raised in cabinet, which month it was. If you could assist me with that.
I was just about to ask you to assist me with that. And you've asked me, but we would send you a copy once we are in receipt.
Please,
we have
yes.
asked cabinet to.
Yes. Because I know that was a period in which I was not very active in cabinet.
Okay.
Due to some health reasons. So things could have been discussed whilst I was in there, or things could have been discussed whilst I was there. Unless, like I said, if we see the cabinet conclusions or the minutes of the cabinet, we will be able to affirm some of the issues that you have raised. Yes.
All right. So back to you aiding us consolidate evidence from two witnesses that are not connecting. And you have helped in one respect, but I wish to clear my doubt as to one issue. Did you ever have a meeting with the Minister of Justice and the President?
No.
Never.
No.
Okay, so
no.
Your subordinate at the time, Mr. Ibrahim Asise, had mentioned to this committee that there was a meeting between yourself, the Minister of Justice, and the President. And after that meeting, immediately after that meeting, is when you both proceeded to contact Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Quran. Now, proceed.
I was just going to say, some of these events have taken some time now. But if there was any meeting with the Minister of Justice, maybe he was the one who was present in that meeting. But most definitely, this day in question, I was with the UNDP resident rep. There was no tripartite meeting with the Minister of Justice. Otherwise, the Minister of Justice himself would have taken the action, not us.
Okay.
You follow my drift. If I was,
I understand.
Yeah,
and that was put to.
There wouldn't have been any need for the president to send somebody to me to hold the tractor issues. No. So
yes,
that
and when that
maybe he's missing something.
Fair enough. That your testimony is that there was no such meeting.
No, there was no such meeting. No.
However, you have alluded to a tripartite meeting, this time with the Minister of Agriculture, not the Minister of Justice.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay. Just to clarify whether that meeting and your meeting with the UN rep were the same day?
No, it wasn't the same day.
Okay.
No.
So I would then put to you what your subordinate at the time told this committee. It is his evidence that there was a meeting, a tripartite meeting. He did say the Minister of Justice. However, you have clarified that perhaps it could be the Minister of Agriculture. And he did say that after that meeting, you summoned him to your office. And whilst in your office, you dialed Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Kurang's number. The phone rang and it rang out. There was no answer. You rang again and you got him. He was at the bank, as he told you. He did not know who he was talking to. And he decided to not heed to the instructions of whoever he was speaking to. But what is clear is that it was you who summoned him. What is clear from his testimony, that is, it was you who summoned Mr. Sise to your office, and that happened right after your meeting with the president and a third party. It was you who dialed Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Kurang's number through your phone and handed it to Mr. Sise. And it was you who instructed Mr. Sise to meet him at the MSA grounds at Kotu. What would you say to that?
Well, that is not correct. Like I said, the Secretary of Cabinet came to my office was I was in a meeting with the UNDP resident rep and transmitted this message to me, that this is what the president wants us to do. Then I asked him to continue with that particular action, that activity. Go in, call this gentleman, transmit the message. So that is the sequence of events. I wouldn't have a meeting with the president and the minister of justice, and I go down to my office to call him. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Why not?
Because the minister of justice would have been given the instruction. If this was a meeting between the three of us, two things could happen. We would agree, three of us, then we will follow it up with a letter to the Minister of Justice for him to take action as per the meeting, that meeting quoting, whatever administratively we need to quote on that letter. So that's why that particular claim cannot hold. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, let me play the devil's advocate here and say, what if he made a mistake to say it was the Minister of Justice rather than the Minister of Agriculture? So let's substitute the Minister of Justice for the Minister of Agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
His claim was that after meeting with the President and the Minister of Agriculture, you summoned him, and as I explained, that's what happened.
That cannot be also true. Why? Because already we have 5 permanent secretaries at the Ministry at the Office of the President. I have created for each permanent secretary a portfolio of ministries to handle. So if that was the case, I would have instructed the permanent secretary, now I cannot recall who it was, or for that particular portfolio to take their required action. That is not the case. The minister, my meeting with the Minister of Justice, of Agriculture and the President had no bearing whatsoever to the subsequent interference, if you will, or halting of the tractor sales. None, they are not connected at all.
You're meeting with the Minister of Agriculture. It's your evidence that you're meeting with the Minister of Agriculture and the President have no nexus with the interference.
No nexus whatsoever, none.
So what warranted the interference then?
Like I said, what transpired before the antecedent to Ibrahim Asise coming to my office, I don't know. But what I can affirm and confirm is that he came to my office and relayed this message, this urgent message. Then because he was there, I said, look, just continue with this line of action, because he is the one who is the messenger, who brought in the message. And sometimes he does act, like some of those permanent secretaries to take action. So this is the true sequence of events. If there was a meeting, like I said, with the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Justice would have been there, and there wouldn't have been any need whatsoever to halt the tractor sales. No. He would have
yes, I've understood your argument on that. Yeah. What I wish to now hear you react to is if your subordinate had in fact meant to say the Minister of Agriculture.
No, it's not possible. Like I said, it's not possible. That very day, we had a meeting with the President. I went back to him to relay my findings after the briefings of the controller of vehicles. And that was the end of that discussion with the President. I left him with that information, that this is the true situation of things. And that was the end of it. But not to leave the President's office and call him to my office to instruct him. It does not make any sense. None whatsoever.
Yes, perhaps it might not make sense to you. The committee is trying to understand why it would not make sense to you. And if you could enlighten us.
No, it's a chain of things. a meeting was held with the Minister of Agriculture. He came to see the president and said certain things to him, right?
Yes.
To confirm what he has relayed, whether it is true or not, we had to go back and get information. So the vehicle, the transport, I don't know, control of vehicles, I called him and he went and brought all the information that was required, alluding to tractor missing, cannibalization, etc., etc. And that was it. So I went back to the president and just gave him a briefing on that particular situation. And that was it. It had no connection with the subsequent halting of the tractor sales. None.
And you, as you've stated, that was before the cabinet.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah, that was before.
Discussions.
That was before the halting of the tractor sales. Yes.
Okay, now what we need to reconcile, you've given me a clear picture of the events as per your recollection. What I just need to reconcile is your testimony vis-a-vis your subordinate's testimony. They're conflicting directly. He mentions that it was you who rather got the instructions from the president, and you're saying it's him who got the instructions from the president. Please assist this committee in ascertaining the truth.
Yes, like I said, there was not at any given time that I called the Secretary of Cabinet into my office to give him an instruction to go and halt a tractor sale. That never happened. Never. All he did, he came to me, he gave me the information, and then I said, look, act on this information. Because I was actually busy in a meeting. So he continued with that. Subsequently, he came back to me to say he was not able to reach this guy. I said, no, let's not waste time. This is urgent. Go there physically to impress upon him that he need to stop the sale of the tractors. So this was our mind at that particular time. But not to say that I had a meeting with the president, came back to call him for what? That's senseless.
Yes, perhaps to you, and we are trying to understand why it is senseless.
Councillor, sir.
Yes.
You know, I don't think there is need for me to say Ibrahim did Ibrahim. No. Like I said, if I go to the president for anything whatsoever, if I come back to my office, I will always call the permanent secretary that I have assigned certain portfolios to and give instructions directly to that particular person. In this case, he brought me information, and based on the urgency, I said, look, continue with the action, deal with these guys, or this particular gentleman, the executive secretary or so. Then action was done. Subsequently, I'm not too sure now whether we were in fact able to halt the tractor sales or not, but that action was taken. I recall telling him, let's not waste time. Go there yourself. Talk to him. Go there yourself directly and ensure that these sales of tractors is stopped. So that's my own testimony.
Yes, I'm listening to your testimony, and I'm trying to also understand, knowing the way government works. You were in a meeting with a very high dignitary.
Yes.
Somebody very senior.
Right.
I'm trying to see whether, I'm trying to understand how you would be interrupted twice in such a high protocol meeting.
Well, remember you are talking about the Secretary of Cabinet, who can have access to me. So this is not a general clerk also, it's the Secretary of Cabinet.
Yes, and while he can have access to you,
of course he can.
You were not alone, were you?
I was not alone.
To you.
He came, I wasn't alone. He came to me, he spoke with me. I had to, if you want those details, to excuse, to ask excuse from my guest, and turn to him because of the urgency. Are you familiar with the Eisenhower quadrant in management?
Not quite, but please enlighten me.
Yeah. You know, when anything that comes from whether it's a message or a missive coming from the desk of the president, there are two things to it. Urgent, important. So it means you have to take immediate action. Now, if I receive that message from him, I will not turn to say, okay, let me call one of the permanent secretaries to the action. I say, Ibrahim, you just continue based on the urgency and the importance of this message you are giving me. Let's hold the tractor sales. So he was given that assignment. He was given that instruction to continue with that.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, that is the chain of things that happen.
Okay. I wish to further put it on a microscope again and see how practically it would work.
Right.
He comes in, he informs you that there's something urgent, we need to halt the tractor sales. Is that how it went? Or did he give you a rationale?
No. No, he didn't give me a rationale. He came to me, he explained that
what did he explain?
That we need to hold the tractor sales is urgent. Yeah? That what the urgency, and knowing fully well that this is coming from the office of the president himself, that is very urgent and important. So take immediate action. Don't go trying to look for an action officer to deal with that situation. You just act on it. That was the instruction I gave him, and he acted on that instruction.
So are you saying that the decision to halt the tractor sales was a decision that was made by His Excellency the President?
Oh, absolutely.
And absolutely. You're saying, yes, you had earlier mentioned that it is your responsibility to advise the President.
Right.
Was that advice forthcoming?
At that juncture, no.
Okay.
No.
The
at that juncture, all our minds was focused on, let's stop this thing before it goes any further. That was our mindset at that particular time. That was the state of our mind. Let's ensure this thing to stop. We didn't consider any other thing apart from halting the tractors.
I agree. You didn't even consider the law.
No, we did not. I will agree with that. No.
You also
did not consider the law. We did not consider the independence of the commission, etc. relative to the. No, we didn't. That was not the consideration. It was just
the consideration was that the order came from number one.
Number one, and then we need to act on it swiftly. So what you will do, you can act on these things and go back. You know, when the situation is a little bit, the waters are calmer, then you can discuss issues, because that has happened several times. Sometimes we'll take certain actions, then you will go back to say, based on X, Y, and Z, we cannot continue with this particular action. It has happened several times. You know, because when these things come, sometimes you might not have the privilege of advising on the spur of the moment. But even for you to make any advice, you have to go back and get the relevant data. It has to be evidence-based. You collect that and go back to, hey, well, we cannot do this particular action because of X, Y, and Z. And sometimes he would agree to that.
Okay. I appreciate your explanation. It sounds very good. But when I put it under a microscope, I do not wish to take that submission that you would act and then advise later. You're saying that you would cause an infraction, you would break the law, and then advise yourselves later. That is what you're telling
in this. I just want to focus it on this particular incident.
On this particular issue, yes.
On this particular issue, yes. Message has come down to me from the president is urgent.
Yes.
I want you to underline that word urgent.
Yes.
It is urgent. Huh?
It is, yes.
So the second word is important.
Yes.
Yeah. So based on these two premises, urgent and important, we had to act without taking any other thing into consideration at that material time. That was not the case. And I'm saying subsequently,
Okay.
It
Mr.
was
Drammeh.
subsequently
All right.
that my attention was drawn by the Minister of Justice to say that, hey, guys, you have acted out of line. To which I agree. I consider, I say, Minister, you are right. We will rewrite this letter and reroute it via you to take action.
Okay,
but
let
when
me just make
two
came,
points.
We
did not think of any other thing. No.
Let me make 2 points. The first point is that from the minister at the time's testimony to this committee, he had actually advised before that fateful day that the committee is the commission is an independent commission and their work is not to be interfered with. That is the minister's testimony to this committee. Now, I wish to go back to your 2 classifications, urgent and important.
Right.
And from your testimony, it seems like that is what is sacrosanct to you, urgent and important.
Right.
And I am contending, and I'm saying that for me, rather, 2 things would be important to me in that junction, which would be your duty to the president and to the Gambian people to advise the president, right? And the second thing would be the law, the constitution that puts you and the president where you were. That was an infraction of the constitution deciding to interfere with the commission's work. Would you agree with me?
Now, when you use words like infraction,
yes,
it could be an infraction, strictly talking about the law. But at that material moment, that was not our consideration, as I said.
Was there a war?
At that particular moment.
Yes. Was there a war in the Gambia? Was there any violence?
How do you want me to interpret your statement?
No, I just wish to know how the constitution of the country can never be a consideration.
No, no. You know, when you are taking decisions sometimes in a particular context, because a decision would be influenced by the context within which you find yourself in. At that material time, like I said, we did not think in terms of the constitution. We did not think in terms of the law. We didn't think in terms of the independence of the commission. No. The overriding factor.
But I will just pause you there. I will just pause you there that it is not an overriding factor. Important and urgent, because cabinet decides that it's important and urgent, cannot be an overriding factor for the constitution. No. You see, Mr. Drammeh, even when
I did not say that it was an overriding factor for the constitution. Let's not conflate the two. I am saying when the message came down to us, to me specifically, from Ibrahim Assisi, I did not consider any other thing, any other variable, because I didn't even have which he did. Subsequently, the Minister of Justice called me to say, you guys have acted out of order. And I agreed. Say, sorry, we would do it this way. We will write to you so that you can transmit that particular message. But
you see, the problem with that
there was no war. We were in the time of peace, but there was war in quotes within my office, if you want to put it that way.
Okay. You see, what I'm trying to understand here is that cabinet understood that the commission is independent.
No doubt.
But yet, cabinet still decided that the sales needed to be stopped. And, you know, I would not, again, I would also not accept an answer to say that the directive came from the president, because decisions are made by cabinet, and it's a collective decision.
Council, yes. I don't want to, like I said, it's up to you. I'm trying to relay what had
I understand. I understand.
You follow? Sometimes ministers do come to the president and will make a specific request. If we, like myself, as the Secretary General, if I am afraid with it from the very beginning, I usually advise otherwise. Let's gather information. Let's do this, let's do that. Then I'll come back to you. It has happened several times. But in this particular instance, that was not the case. I was not there. And uppermost in my mind was not the constitution, neither the law at that particular juncture. All we saw was, let's halt this, because I'm already privy to previous, for the previous meeting, where the Minister of Agriculture was making a passionate plea that the tractors should be used for the farmers. So this is the question of comforting the afflicted and afflicting the comfortable. That was just the basic principle that will be adopted, if you like, a prioritarian principle. To say, look, the farming community needed this thing more than the Jammeh Commission's objective of recovering monies from the sale of the assets of the former president. That was not what we were thinking about at the time. Say, look, this is for the farmers. Let's put a stop to it, and then we can go back to what those tractors were originally meant for. That was what was driving us. Nothing else. We had no other motivation whatsoever.
And you understand that that motivation, in essence, was cabinet using its muscle to interfere into the work of the commission?
I would not put it that way. The commission is a...
How would you put it?
I'll put it this way. The commission, their job is very noble. What they were trying to do was very good. No question about it. However, in the face of overwhelming request for those tractors to go back to the farming communities of the Gambia, where 80% of foreign exchange is earned, that will trump, in my view, over the commission's objective, because that other objective is for the greater good. We are not questioning the objective of the commission. It's good. But in terms of the hierarchy of good, the public good will always trump, if I want to put it that way, over a commission's objective.
Who set up the commission?
The government and the people.
The same government that interfered into the commission set up the commission.
Yes.
The same government that determined that it is of public good for there to be a commission, for us to know what transpired in the past, for us to leave what happened in the past behind. It's the same government that decided that this is how we want you to do things. You see,
for good purpose. For good purpose, Mr. Councillor. For good purpose.
Would you say that for good purpose, it's good to kill people?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. We can go back to the ethical issues on justice.
Why not we go back? We go to the ethical issues of
I know because that's the direction you want to take.
Well, we're having a conversation here.
I'm just trying to explain to you. Sometimes,
yes,
when people who advocate for say capital punishment, for example,
yes,
from the eyes of some Islamic clerics, they would argue that is a mercy to society and a mercy to the guy who has been executed. Why? Because killing him would remove that threat to society. And if this thing is an impulse from this individual, it will also be a mercy to prevent him from further killing.
Yeah.
So some would argue in that way. So in this case, justice,
interestingly,
without going into all that technicalities, in these instances, people could argue. If you advocate for, say, the law is no capital punishment, that's what it would be. For those people, they have the argument against human rights and what have you. case, specifically on the tractors, it was public value more than anything that has driven the decision to halt the sale of the tractors. And you just go back to the prioritarian principle.
That's fine. It seems
the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. That's what it is. Nothing else.
I'm fascinated and I've learned a lot. We cannot equate any principle that you bring to practice. This is you're faced with a real life situation.
Yes.
And what cabinet chose to do was to defy the constitution.
No, what cabinet chose to do was to do what was in the best interest of the Gambian farmers. That's what cabinet did. What is in the best interest of the Gambian farmers was to give them those tractors to go and till the land, increase productivity, bring in the required foreign exchange so that you, Mr. Councillor, you can buy your wheat.
But you see, the thing is, I agree with you that Cabinet's motive was noble, but Cabinet's approach was not noble. Mr. Drammeh, if you wanted the citizenry to receive the tractors, you could simply go to the Jammeh Commission and make a formal application, and that application would see a lot of reason, because just like you've convinced me of the nobility of giving tractors to farmers, I'm sure the Jammeh Commission would have also been convinced. But instead of doing that, let me land. Instead of doing that, what Cabinet, in the face of defiance, Cabinet uprooted that defiant element.
No, I think I would even recall that the commission, they wrote a letter to I'm not too sure whether it was direct to us or via the Minister of Justice to push back on this particular directive.
Rightfully so.
And they were right.
Yes.
That's what we are saying. We consider they were right. The whole intent was noble. What we did wrong was the process. And what?
Yes, but Cabinet knew that it was doing something wrong. When it was doing something wrong.
No, this has nothing to do with Cabinet. Let's put it where it should belong.
Where should it belong?
It belongs in the office of the Secretary General in the execution of this order.
Okay, so are you taking a fall for that?
Of course, I will take responsibility for that. This is an action that we've taken. Never mind who took the action. But as a Secretary General, maybe I could have halted like I always do, go into this matter and go back and advise. But in this particular instance, that was not my consideration. It was not at the forefront of my head. What was at the forefront of my head was, let's stop this urgently so that it will benefit the farmers. Stop this thing so that it will benefit the farming community. But what would have been the point? If the tractors were sold, we would have regretted it. It will go into maybe one or two or few individuals who will, of course, make use of it, but at the expense of the general farming community. I agree. So the process was flawed. When our attention was drawn to that flawed process, we went back and corrected it.
Okay, now I appreciate your honesty, Mr. Drammeh. I must say, I will commend you for your honesty. And I will also commend you for taking responsibility for not advising the president at the right time when he needed it. I appreciate that. However, what I wish to zero in is that at the time you were advising, you mentioned that it was brought to your attention, the irregularities, but I wish to make that at the time you were acting upon those instructions, it was known to you and your colleagues in cabinet that what you were doing was an infraction of the law.
No, I will not accept that. You know why? If there was a cabinet decision to halt the sale of the tractors, the Minister of Justice, who is the custodian of the law, would have reacted naturally.
And he did, according to his evidence.
I cannot recall that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I cannot recall that. He could have, but I cannot recall that. But if, for instance, he was part of this whole process, he wouldn't, talking about the law, he would have advised accordingly, either in writing or in whatever form he would choose to do. But I am saying, without prejudice, the cabinet, the office of the president, was not taking into consideration at that material time. I want to situate it at that material time.
Yes, but we established that at that material time, there was no, it was just urgency and importance.
When you say it's,
there was no war, there was nothing that warranted an abrogation of the law.
You know, in the hierarchy of decision making, when the clerk comes to the supervisor and gives message, or let's put it the other way, when the clerk receives a message from the supervisor, he will still act. When it comes from the manager directly to the clerk, it gives it greater weight. When it comes from the managing director of that particular company, it gives it added weight. So at the spur of the moment, some of all these things that you are mentioning, consideration, going through in your head, idea generation, the whole thing, gathering information, looking at alternatives, pros and cons, etc., before you subsequently take a decision, will not enter the fray. The fray was urgent and important relative to who? The farming community. I want you to underline these three things, these three imperatives.
I have.
Yeah? One imperative.
I have.
What is driving the urgency and the importance is where the message is coming from. The urgency and importance is where the message is coming from.
Okay.
But the imperative was the farming community. So if you have done wrong for the farming community, so this thing becomes, as you lawyers, the utilitarian principle. Nothing was sui generis about it at all. It was just to say, look, if we look at the terms of utility, you compare the two outcomes. Doing the greater good is to give the tractors back to the farming community, not to sell them. Not to say that selling them is it has no utility. It has, of course. Monies will be brought into the government coffers, ideally. But that other one, it has a more long-term and bearing effect for the farming community. That's why I'm arguing that, yes, it might have the semblance of impropriety. For that, correction was done, Mr. Councillor. You might not want to concede on this point, but we recognize that one, the way we acted was not the best way, and then we rectified that position. So subsequently, I'm sure the commission members are human beings. They must have listened to the Minister of Justice, if at all they halted the sales of the tractors. That would have been the consideration, isn't it?
No. In fact, the consideration was the fact that there was a back and forth between Mr. Alhaji Mohamed Kurang and cabinet henchman, Ibrahim Assise. And since that fracas,
Mr. Council, don't you think that word is very heavy, henchman?
All right, I withdraw
Please.
I withdraw the word. However,
please, yes.
The word signifies that cabinet used its authority, its influence, to do something that was not proper. And at the time cabinet was doing it, cabinet knew exactly.
I want to dispel that notion that you brought in. Okay. That notion that cabinet took a decision to halt the sale of the tractors, and yet the office of the Secretary General was used to halt it. It makes no sense. Councillor, you cannot square the two. It's like a circle that you can never square. Because if cabinet has taken that decision, the directive would have gone to the Minister of Justice, nobody else. So there was no directive from cabinet, in my recollection, to halt. That was not the case. This thing came from the chief executive's desk through a messenger to the Secretary General, to the executive secretary of the commission, regardless of the back and push, etc. That is normal, that the guy will push back. We don't expect anything else. He's in local standing for, he's not representing the commission. We expect that. You know? But they are Gambians. So if we appeal to the better angels of the commission, naturally, they would acquiesce to that request.
And they would have acquiesced to that request if you approach them in the appropriate manner.
I agree.
But again,
there's no debate. Councillor, frankly, there is no debate. We need to agree, maybe.
We agree on most things.
You are the one leading this discussion, isn't it?
That's fine. We agree on most things. What we don't agree on is at the time of the interference, whether cabinet knew that it was interfering.
I am saying that cabinet did not interfere. That's my point. That's my position.
You're saying that cabinet did not interfere?
No. Cabinet did not interfere.
Who then interfered with the sales? Because
I'm saying the president of the country, who made the message to me, was the one who is directing us. Look, let's put a stop to this. Why? What was the intention? If we put a stop to the sale of the tractors, we can now give it back to the farming community.
You keep going back to the intention.
But that is very important. That is very important.
It is important.
I know you are a lawyer. I understand the legal argument, but I also want you to look at the other dimension. In terms of,
Mr. Drammeh, what I wish to underscore here is that the law and the procedures of government are very simple. Yes. There's a procedure, there's a pathway to achieve whatever you want. Whatever the government wants to achieve, there's an appropriate procedure to achieve.
I think we have agreed on that, Councillor. We agree that there's a better way of doing, of arriving at the same conclusion. I agree.
I don't wish to downsize it to a better and a worse way, but the right and the wrong way.
Okay.
Let's agree on that.
I can even concede on that. There is a right way.
Yes.
Because I believe in procedural justice also.
Okay.
Procedures matter.
Of course they do.
So that the outcome is justice.
It's proper. To safeguard the outcome.
For me, you can interpret it. Procedural matter, procedural justice matters so that the outcome at the end of the day is justice. That is outcome justice. So we have two justice from an organizational point of view. We have the procedural justice. Then you have the interactive justice so that the outcome of justice would be the best outcome for everybody. In this case,
I'm not sure that it's that complicated. I just wish to say that the procedure facilitates the substance. Let me ask.
Maybe I'm just being too technical here. But it's just procedure. Like there is a right way of doing things and there's a wrong way of doing things. I agree with you. The way we went over argue this, that process we took, that procedure was wrong. Right. Yeah, it was wrong, of course. I told your investigators that was the wrong approach. But when our attention was drawn as to what we can do, we did that.
Now let's stay on that point. The proposition I'm putting to you is that when you interfered, when you did the wrong, you knew you were doing wrong.
No, I don't think so at the material time, no.
Now let's look at it this way.
Councillor, you have to, this one.
Yes.
I know at the end of the day, you are the one leading this.
Yes.
But I believe in the principle of innamal amalu binniyat wa kulli imrin ma nawa. That's what I believe in.
I'm counting the principles. This is the fourth principle you've put on the table.
Yes, because the intention.
You believe in all the principles except
actions are
the law says, Mr. Drammeh, that that nobody should interfere with the commission's work. The commission was to be independent.
We agree.
You have used all your principles. Now you have just mentioned for me. The principle you mentioned now is a principle from the Quran, I guess.
No, it's the hadith of the Prophet. The intention matters. Even the law. A law has to have intention. I'm not a lawyer.
Yes.
But if you enact a law, that law cannot be injurious to the majority of the people, isn't it? Every law is for the greater good. Isn't it? So if the president uses remember, he can also use executive power. He can invoke that.
Enlighten me how he can use executive power.
Yes. Now, if something of this urgency, like prioritarian, this is really priority in the eyes of the president, he can use his executive order.
Even if it's not under the armpit of the law?
I will, in as much as we respect the work of the commission, we would like the Minister of Justice, to intervene so that these tractors can be given back to the farming community. This is no matter how we dice it, the higher good was for the farming community. That's what it is. The process can be wrong, the procedures can be wrong, the lack of interference with the commission's work can be wrong. But what was right is the greater good, not only for the farming community, but for the macroeconomy of the Gambia. That was the overriding consideration, nothing else. Like I said, nothing else. There was no
Mr. Drammeh, would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Would you agree with me that it is very dangerous to tread along that line that you're threading about the greater good? Because what is perceived to be the greater good can differ individual to individual. You're essentially, Mr. Drammeh, in failing to do your duty and in advising the president at the material time, you are breeding a dictator in the president, because you just mentioned executive orders.
I think
I was waiting for you to substantiate that.
I think now you are stretching it too far now. That one is honestly, you are stretching it. Not for,
I don't believe so.
No, I believe so. Not for the sale of tractors. Come on.
You see?
How can we breed it?
Because you believe so and I don't believe so.
No,
there's already a difference between the both of us.
Yeah, because our positions are different.
Correct. And that's why you should have advised the president on law. Because our positions are different.
I am a law, I'm the principal advisor to the president.
Yes.
But he also have a minister of justice who's equally an advisor to the president.
And who, according to who?
Wait, you have
Attorney General's. Rather, you wait, Mr. Drammeh. According to whom that advice was forthcoming on the floor of cabinet.
I am saying that whatever the Minister of Justice must have told you, I'm not questioning it, I've not seen his statement, etc. But in this specific case, halting the titles for the farmers, I think we are all in lock and step. What the problem was is the procedure, but not the outcome. We are all lock and step in agreeing that those tractors should go back to the farming community. We are all locked and step in it.
Yes, but with all due respect, Mr. Drammeh, if you are all on the same page, then you should have, why set up the Jammeh Commission? Just do it yourself then.
No,
but you set up a Jammeh Commission. Hold on, Mr. Drammeh. You set up a commission and you use the Constitution to set up the commission. And before I even make that point, what is urgent and important to the president, with all due respect to His Excellency, needs to be in the armpit of the law, because the president himself gets his authority from the Constitution.
I agree.
That Constitution is sacrosanct. Every line that is thread should be thread along that Constitution.
I am saying.
But instead,
Mr. Council, we can go. If you like, we can continue.
Yes, I like it, but we'll continue this way.
No, if you like, we can continue on the same argument. I think we have concluded on this. Perhaps you just want to stretch it and stretch it.
Actually, we have not concluded in it.
No,
we
no,
have not
we
concluded
said,
on the fact that we're still at odds on the fact that at the material time that you acted upon those instructions, you knew that it was wrong to do it.
At that material time, no, that was not the consideration.
That's
we
fine.
never, no, that is not correct.
That's fine.
You need to, no, you have, except you are examining my state of mind. At that time,
yes,
nobody thought about right and wrong. All we saw is the good. That's all we saw.
So how does violating a constitution turn up to be good?
No, it can be good.
Please,
because
tell me.
Look, this.
Do you remember?
Look,
I'm sure the same person whose assets you were.
What do you call this thing? This
Drammeh?
Huh?
The same person whose assets you were investigating has said that once or twice, perhaps, that it's an infraction. Let me land. An infraction of the Constitution can end up to be good. You see, this is the statements of deluded men. Because you're not operating.
Are you by any chance saying I'm deluded?
Yes, I'm saying that at the time, if you acted upon instructions because of urgency and importance, aside from the Constitution, that was a delusion. Mr. Drammeh, with all due respect.
Mr. Counselor, I honestly, I wish you all the best in your rise in your job, whether it's within government or in the private sector or outside. In my whole entire career as a decision maker,
yes,
we do not place decision-making theories on our desk in order to take a decision, looking at every alternative angle possible. This is not in practice what happens. In practice, I'll go back to that. You can agree or disagree. The issue of urgency and importance relative to the farming community was the driving principle. That was what was in our head. And we didn't see what we are doing at that material time was an infraction, or we are trying to scuttle the work of the commission. That was never our intention.
Okay, Mr. Drammeh.
However,
Mr. Drammeh,
in executing this, I will concede we did not go about it in the right way. You could have done better. That is my take on this.
I'm grateful for your concession. However, I'm still sticking to this issue. And let's look at it this way. When the commission was being set up, did Cabinet understand that it was being set up as an independent institution?
Hello?
Yes. Did you hear the question?
No. Look.
The questions will be answered, Mr. Drammeh.
You can put whatever you want in your conclusions, in your recommendation. But all I can tell you is this.
Yes.
Once I was a member of Cabinet, once I was the Secretary General, there was no time that it was the intention of government to scuttle the work of the commission. That never happened. We had a faux pas, a misstep in one particular incident, and this concerned the tractors. And the overdriving objective, the intention for that fault was for the greater good. And in this greater good, if you go to every Gambian, and the majority will tell you, yes, it is better to give the tractors to the farming community rather than to selling it for individuals. So that argument that you used, the utilitarian argument, that's what I'm just putting to you. That sometimes you can apply the prioritarian principle or prioritarian ethics or utilitarian ethics or whatever ethics you would want, including Islamic ethics, to say prophetic, innamal amalu bin niyat, I will say it again, wa kulli imri'in ma nawa. Actions are bought by intention. Our intention was noble, perhaps our action was not right.
Sir Drammeh,
Yes, please, Mr. Councillor.
We both agree that Cabinet envisioned an independent commission, correct?
Correct.
We also perhaps both will agree that the discussion about tractor sales ensued in Cabinet, correct?
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
No.
Fair enough. The evidence before this committee suggests, or rather indicates, in fact, that there was a discussion in Cabinet and 2 Cabinet conclusions, which will be sent to you after this session, were produced. And when shown to both our witnesses in Ibrahim Assise and the former Minister of Justice, they both confirmed this.
But what I want to, in fact, further...
I'm still on my feet. I'm still on my feet, Mr. Drammeh.
No, I just want to make it...
Furthermore, yes, you can make it. Let me just clarify a few things.
Yes.
Furthermore, the Minister of Justice clarified that on the floor of Parliament, of Cabinet, he advised that interference with the work of the Commission, the approach should not be to interfere with the approach of the Commission,
yes,
but to communicate Cabinet's mind to the Commission.
True.
Now, yes, you seem to want to say something. I would allow you to proceed.
We can go as what I wanted to know.
We can and we will.
No,
Mr. Drammeh, I'm not budging on this. Let's be clear.
Neither am I.
That's fine. That's fine. But
what I'm saying
listen,
is,
it's for you to answer the questions.
I want to make a request. Not a
Hold on,
question.
Mr. Drammeh. Okay, go on. Please make your
No,
request.
I just wanted to make a request.
Yes.
That if I can also have the attendance list of the Cabinet conclusions, that will also help me jog my memory. That's what I wanted to request.
Okay, and I would ask the chair that
please
we ask Mr. Drammeh to produce the attendance. So Mr. Drammeh was in Cabinet. He knows how to facilitate the receipt of those documents. So
thank you very much.
Honorable Chair, I make the application that Mr. Drammeh, our witness today, provide this committee with the list of persons present in Cabinet on the day.
Yeah, that would help me jog my memory.
Okay, that's fine, Councillor. That's fine. Right.
Nonetheless, let's answer this question. At the time, you knew that the commission was independent.
Yes.
An instruction came to you to interfere. And you gave that instruction a go-ahead without advising the president. My conclusion from the evidence and what you have told us is that at the time you were acting upon those instructions, you knew that the commission was independent, and therefore you knew that your actions were an infraction of the law.
Mr. Counsel,
yes,
I am telling you once again,
yes,
when that request came to us, we did not consider whatsoever, in small or in a big way, the independence of the commission or laws. That was not, we didn't even think about those. We are basically acting on these two things: the urgency coming from the desk of the president and its importance. That was
so what guided you to make the decision?
Wait. That was our overriding.
Mr. Drammeh, you've explained this many times.
No, then I have no other explanation to give you.
Okay, then that's fine.
I am telling you.
I will keep asking you the question.
Well,
and
I will still
keep
give you
giving me the same answer.
The same answer.
We can do that.
Yes.
So what guides you in making decisions is urgency and importance.
I am saying for every decision that comes before you,
yes,
it will depend on the context, the background,
and the context,
and
exactly.
The context and all that information that you have.
Exactly, and you had the information at the time that the commission was independent.
Councillor, I am telling you.
I am asking you, at the time you were making that decision.
I am also telling you that at the time.
Mr. Drammeh, it is me who is asking you the question.
No, it is me also who is answering. Okay, let me
you will answer my questions. You will not answer your own questions.
I will answer your question in the best way I think it should be answered.
Fine,
I am telling
but you will listen to my questions and you will answer them.
I will not accept that kind of bullying, my friend. Yes. We've been having this thing very nicely. Please don't try to bully me. Please.
Hello, Mr. Drammeh.
I am just telling you a simple
Mr.
thing.
Drammeh.
Don't try to say you want to bully me for what? For what purpose?
Mr. Drammeh.
Yes, please.
Good. Please, Honorable.
Yes, Honorable.
I just wanted to intervene here. Council is only asking about what transpired between you and your former junior staff, that's Honorable Ibrahim Sisi, regarding the information that he relayed to you on the sales of the tractor. So I think if your response is exactly what you are saying, I will intervene that council proceed with the testimony.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's the same answer.
Council.
It's the same answer I'll give you.
Yeah.
Honorable Chair, I insist that my questions must be listened to and responded to. I am not moving from this point. And if the chair wants to compel me to move from this point, I would ask that the chair takes the button. Honorable Chair, I wish for the witness to be reprimanded in the sense that he listens to the entire question and stop interrupting the question. I am not moving from this point. And I also wish to, since the witness mentioned that it seems as if I am bullying him, to apologize if it seems that way. But I still stand on my ground that I am not moving from this point. And Mr. Drammeh, if it felt like I was bullying you, my apologies. But I wish to proceed.
Mr. Councillor, I accept your apology. And if you feel that I'm going too hard on you, I also apologize. Our objective for coming before you.
But I wish for you to listen to me.
I have listened to you, Mr. Councillor.
And you
really, I have listened to you. I've been very patient.
And I've also been very patient.
Please, let's go ahead then.
Okay.
So, Mr. Drammeh.
Yes.
Let me come in again. Now, Council is asking about specific questions.
Yes.
And I think the question is about the reason why you did not advise the president. What necessitated the decision that you have taken to ask your junior to tell the secretary to hold the tractor sale? Exactly. I think that question should be answered.
My apologies, but the technical
frankly, I have answered that question. Really.
I come to Mr. Drammeh.
I have really answered that question,
Mr.
Mr. Chair and Mr. Council. I have. With all due respect to both of you,
Hello? Mr. Drammeh?
Yes.
So I have been intervening. I mean, I think this is the responsibility of council to be asking you questions. And I think what is asking you is specific as to what necessitated the decision you have taken not to advise the president on that specific issue. I think there's a reflection that we need to answer as well, so that we can move away from here. Okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Am I supposed to answer? Councillor, please don't try to bully me. No.
Okay,
I will not try. General, but I still read some different. Don't you think so?
No,
you don't have to be hot.
I'm very.
No, please don't.
I'm very impressed by how many principles that you still retain.
No, it's not.
I will definitely come for lessons after this session.
No, it's not a question of principle. I'm just trying to tell you in the best way possible. Yeah, I'm trying to give you my answers as honestly as as possible.
Okay, that's fine. Can I ask the question now?
Please.
Very well. At the time the decision to act on the instruction was made, were you aware that the commission was independent?
Of course.
You were aware.
Yes.
And that meant that they make their own decisions.
Yes.
That meant that no influence, undue influence could come from outside of the commission.
I agree.
What stopped the government? Let me ask it this way. What stopped you from advising the president in approaching the commission in the appropriate manner and not doing it in a clandestine manner as it was done?
Clandestine is too strong a word, Mr. Council. I want you to withdraw that.
I don't think I can withdraw this one.
No,
this one is an appropriate word.
No, it is abusive in my view. Really. It is very abusive.
I withdraw clandestine and I replace it with improper manner.
I can agree with you.
Very improper.
When you say it's improper, I agree. I have no sweat with those kind of words.
My question is not for you to agree, but why?
Okay. Like I said, I'm repeating myself again. When the Secretary of Cabinet gave me this message, I was in a meeting and I told him, I instructed him, please proceed. At that material time, I did not consider all these issues that you have raised. Not at that material time, no. But subsequently, our attention was drawn. And we agreed personally. I said, told the Minister of Justice, yes, that was a mistake. We will redirect our letter to you. And that was done.
You see, I'll still take you back because I don't believe you have answered my question. And Mr. Drammeh, with all due respect, I know you understand my question very well.
Frankly, Mr. Councillor, there is nothing else I can tell you. This is my answer. I was there in a meeting, like I told you, with the...
So your answer is that you did not know at the time you were following the instructions that it was something wrong?
No, at the time, no, I did not consider it. No. I did not consider it at that material.
Considering it and knowing are two different things, Mr. Drammeh.
Look, at that specific time, I did not consider all these issues you've raised.
We understand, and that's why we're questioning you on that particular time, because you did not consider it. But you knew. That is my question. You knew.
No, of course we knew that we shouldn't interfere with the commission.
But that is the question that you
are. But I have said that thing.
No, you did not.
Mr. Councillor,
this is the first time you are saying...
you were not listening to me. You didn't want to hear what I was telling you. I told you, we knew the independence of the commission. We knew we shouldn't interfere with the commission. I told you this.
I knew at the time, and that was at the time that not even at
the time. We knew all along. We shouldn't interfere with the commission's work. We knew. We've always known.
So you knew it was wrong when you were doing it?
Of course, we knew that at that material time, we shouldn't be taking that kind of action. If we had known that, we wouldn't have done it. We did not consider it.
Thank you.
At that material time, we did not consider it.
No, now you're going back to consider, but you've already given my answer. It's okay.
I have given you the same thing, that we knew the commission was independent. We knew all the news. Bringing all the news to the Power 10. We knew all the news. Yeah? But at that particular moment in time, no. We didn't give it consideration. You are the lawyers. That's why I'm not afraid of Allahira.
The law is for the lawyers only.
Yeah,
Cabinet does not have to follow the law.
No, it's only for you people.
And Cabinet doesn't follow the law.
Cabinet follows the law to the letter, as far as I can remember.
Except for this instance.
This particular instance, it was not what was considered. Frankly, it was not. It was, sometimes when you are in this kind of position, there are a lot of things that you deal with, isn't it?
I can appreciate that, yes.
Yes, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of contradictions you navigate. I told you guys, there are a lot of paradoxes that you navigate. But not only that, there are always tensions in decision making that you have to take without being contentious, like we are doing right now. Tension, but not to be contentious. And that's why I appreciate the apology. So what doesn't have to be contentious is for me, I know you are doing your job, which I respect. But I also want you to listen to me as you are going to eventually with the whole commissioners, because it's not only you, my counselor, but it's the committee, for the committee to understand that the driving factor in this case, the intention was never to scuttle the work of the commission. The intention was never to interfere with the commission. The intention was not to belittle the commission, but the intention was very noble. You know, the overriding intention to the commissioners is the fact that those tractors were needed for the farming community. That was the driving principle.
You know, Mr. Drammeh, where I live, we need roads. When it rains, the roads are terrible.
True.
Like, you cannot plow them.
True.
And since we are blessed with a president who builds roads, I could also easily say that the greater good is for us not to hold an election come 2026.
Because
let's allow His Excellency to build more roads to 2031 without holding an election. It's best for the greater good.
I think that's
it will benefit me.
No,
to rely on. If I can finish my statement without interruption.
Please.
It would benefit me and everybody that's in my neighborhood. We are a lot. It's the greater good because it benefits a great number of Gambians. But it's wrong.
You know, you are giving me a hypothetical situation.
But you gave me
I am giving you a practical situation on the
where you defied the law, where you ignored the law. A practical situation where you ignored the law.
Well, Mr. Counsel, I don't think I have any more thing to say on this matter, apart from what I've already said.
Okay. You can repeat what you say because not answering is also an infraction of the law.
Well,
if I bring that to your attention.
Well, to the best of my ability, I've given you my answers, and my answers remain the same.
Okay. Your answer was already given, and I'm satisfied with your answer, that at the time, you knew it was wrong, but we still went ahead. That's fine. We can proceed. Now, despite knowing it was wrong, first of all, before I go any further, how was the instruction brought? Was it through word of mouth, or there were any minutes produced?
No, word of mouth. Word of mouth.
And then you instructed the Secretary to Cabinet to contact the Executive Secretary. Correct?
Yes, please.
And whose decision was it to bypass the Ministry of Justice in that? Because Cabinet had designated the Ministry of Justice to be the liaison institution with the Commission. So why weren't they in the picture in this particular instance?
Well, I think it goes back to the same thing. Like we said, at that material time, we didn't give any other consideration, apart from acting on this instruction that came to me.
You see, the reason I asked how Cabinet conclusions are dealt with is because, as you alluded, once the conclusion is made, it's sent to the relevant ministry to deal with it.
Yes.
This also, an instruction could have been sent to the Ministry of Justice with a caption urgent.
Yeah.
To deal with it.
On hindsight is 2020.
Yes, indeed, hindsight is 2020. But I believe the Wolof say sometimes do they yombe no.
No.
And this one do yombe no because you could see where you were going. You could see that this is an independent institution that was interfacing with one ministry. One ministry dealt with it for everything, for funds, personnel, resources, communication, everything except for this instance. What made it so special?
You know, I have the Secrecy Act is still relevant to me.
Yes.
But I want to also tell you, not in specific terms, but in general terms, where things can happen and the Minister of Justice will draw our attention. Well, that's why, remember, we are a team. And if you are in a team, you bring in different skills, isn't it? Complementary skills.
Complementary skills, of course.
Isn't it?
Yes.
And where one part of government does not see something at a particular instance, another part would draw their attention. You follow? And these things is in the act of decision making and of the government business. But I want to tell you that if cabinet made a decision to halt the sale of those tractors, it will definitely not come to the Secretary General. It will, that conclusion will be sent directly to the Ministry of Justice to act upon in the best way they know how. But this thing was not the case, except you say you'll be sending me the cabinet conclusions.
Yes.
I was never present in any cabinet meeting that conclusions were drawn to halt the sale of tractors. I can't recall that.
And I don't believe I mentioned that the conclusions had that effect. Did I?
I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying, answering your question, that if cabinet took a decision to halt the sale of the tractors, it would have gone to the Minister of Justice. In this case, it was not the case. That's what I'm trying to emphasize.
Okay.
The two scenarios were different.
All right. Before acting, did you seek any legal opinion about interfering with the ongoing process of sale?
No, we did not.
You did not?
No.
Okay. Now, I still have to contend with the fact that your recollection is that the instructions came through Mr. Ibrahim Cisse.
Precisely.
And Mr. Ibrahim Cisse's recollections is that the instructions came through you.
Yes. So somebody has to be the arbitrator here, isn't it?
I guess that would be the committee then.
Exactly.
And for all we can do is discuss on how and what you remember.
Because for me, my recollection of that day is what I told you. Precisely that. Yeah.
Okay. We will proceed, but I wish to make just a few remarks.
Yes.
My remarks are that, you see, when the president was coming into office, he swore upon the Quran, correct? He swore upon the Quran, or would he have affirmed, to uphold the Constitution. You see, the irony is that the person who you're saying sent you a message that is urgent and important has a duty to the same Constitution you sidelined and negated to advise him on. He has that duty because it's that Constitution that puts both you and him in the positions you are in. But that was sidelined and ignored because your principal deemed something urgent and important.
What do you want me to say, Mr. Councillor?
You need not say anything.
Thank you.
Okay. So after that instruction, Mr. Cisse then went on the ground to disperse the crowd. His evidence is that when he went on the ground, he looked for Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Quran. And before actually, I did something skip my mind, Mr. Drammeh, just to put to you that a third account from Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Quran places the phone call. The way Mr. Ibrahim Asise narrated it is corroborated by Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Kurang, because Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Kurang, in his recollection, received a phone call while he was at the central bank or a bank. And he was defiant to the instructions he got on the phone. And then subsequently he met your subordinate on the ground. So it is in line with Mr. Ibrahim Asise's testimony that a phone call was placed. However, Mr. Asise's recollection was that the phone call was placed through your phone in your office.
It could be. No, it could be, like I said.
Oh, now it could
be.
Okay. I see.
Mr. Councillor.
Yeah.
I have nothing to gain from this, apart from telling you the truth. I was in this meeting when this particular action was in progress.
Which meeting?
He could use my telephone. He could use his telephone. All I know, I instructed him to continue with the directive. So whichever way he did it was up to him. But whether it was my telephone, or whether it's his, I cannot recall that. Because I have no liaison with Alhaji Kurang in any shape or form.
Okay.
Then and now. Never. We've never had that commission, apart from the fact in those days when I was lecturing at the GTTI and he was also a lecturer there, we will stand and talk. Apart from that, nothing in this world bring us together. Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Sise went, and of course, he would have reported back to you.
Yes.
What was the report?
Now that is fuzzy. Perhaps he succeeded in stopping the sale at the time. I'm not too sure now. But at any rate, the Attorney General consulted me. He called me directly and said, the way you guys are going about this thing is wrong. And we agreed. We conceded to that, and we actually apologized. Sorry.
There was no concession. There was rather an acknowledgement, because that was something you knew already. There's not a concession. It was an acknowledgement that yes, it was wrong.
What?
You just mentioned. Yes.
You want to throw my words? Okay, that was an acknowledgement that it was wrong.
I don't wish to feed you words. I'm just.
No, I think you are feeding me concession, acknowledgement. They are all the same in my vocabulary.
Okay, in my vocabulary, they are not. A concession would mean that you held a different position.
No,
we oblivious to
okay, we acknowledge. Thank you.
You acknowledge because you knew it was wrong from.
We acknowledge that it was wrong.
Okay.
And then we retraced our steps and then did what was right.
Okay. Honorable Chair, I note that the lunchtime looms us. I don't know whether this is a convenient time for the committee to take.
You want me to come back to this commission again?
Yes, in an hour or so. And we promise that this time the technique.
Council, I'm not a very healthy person like you there. So already.
That's even better for you to take a break then. That's even better for you to take a break.
And off the records, don't try to bully me, Mr. Councillor.
Okay, no problem. Honorable Chair, is that something that?
Yeah. That's a convenient time for us to break, and we can come back at
an hour is fine. 3:30 Gambian time. Yes.
3:30.
So I'm not sure what time it is, Mr. Drammeh.
That will be 5:30.
I promise I wouldn't go for long after that.
No, I know you will continue to go along, Mr. Councillor. Now, are you on the record or off the record?
I'm still on the. We're still on the.
Let me put it this way. Now, so we will stand down for break, and we'll come back at 3:30 for continuation. All right, meeting will adjourn now.
Okay.